Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat trade pitch lands $215 million All-Star, keeps Butler, Adebayo in Miami. The Miami Heat have been known for whale hunting in the offseason for players who can deliver championships, and the organization is primed to do so again this summer. A great deal of discussion around the Heat has been about the potential for the team to trade Jimmy Butler, who has led the locker room to 3 Eastern Conference Finals appearances and 2 NBA Finals appearances over the last 5 years. However, Bill Simmons of The Ringer suggested a trade proposal that would keep Butler and big man Bam Adebayo in South Florida while still netting the Heat an elite offensive point guard from the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young, 4, Tyler, Herro and Duncan Robinson and Miami's pick in the 2024 draft. They'll have to draft a guy and trade him, and then their 2029 unprotected first, Simmons said on the Bill Simmons podcast that aired on June 10. And then, if you're Miami, you keep Butler, you have Bam. Trae, Heat culture, this is the kind of guy, he's a warrior. If you go back and watch him in the playoffs a couple years ago, he's unafraid. He's a Heat kinda guy. He's competitive as expletive. Getty DeJounte Murray, left, and Trae Young, right, of the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks own the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 draft on June 26 and 27 and have exited the playoffs in the first round in each of the past 2 years after making a run to the Eastern Conference Finals following the 2020-21 regular season. Atlanta made a trade with the San Antonio Spurs for DeJounte Murray in June 2022, though his addition has not been the needle mover the Hawks might have hoped. As a result, several analysts have suggested that a reset is likely coming to Atlanta this offseason, meaning that either Young or Murray will be on the move. Murray is playing on a favorable contract of 4 years and $114 million that keeps him locked up through the 2026-27 campaign and includes a player option the following season. Young, meanwhile, is playing on a 5-year deal worth $215 million that keeps him under contract for 2 more seasons with a player option in 2026-27. Getty Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks. The cost and logistics of both deals render Young the more likely trade piece from the Hawks' perspective. Meanwhile, the Heat could benefit greatly from the playmaking and consistent scoring from Young, who has shown himself as one of the league's premier offensive players over the course of his 6-year career. Young has earned 3 trips to the All-Star game, including 1 last season, on the strength of career averages of 25.5 points, 9.5 assists, 3.6 rebounds and 1 steal per game, according to Basketball Reference. He has averaged north of 28 points twice and boasts a career 3-point percentage of 43.6%, which would make him the most dangerous offensive option on the Heat's roster. Herro has put up 18.1 points per game on 38.5% shooting from deep and has a reputation as a dangerous, albeit streaky, shooter. Miami signed Robinson to a 5-year, $90 million deal in August 2021, which has not paid dividends. Robinson's 3-point percentage and minutes per game dipped significantly following the signing of that deal, hitting career lows, not including his rookie campaign, of 32.8% from deep and 16.5 minutes per night 2 years ago. Robinson bounced back last season to average 39.5% from behind the arc and 28 minutes of court time, though the Heat made the playoffs as the number 8 seed and were dispatched in the first round in just 5 games by the Boston Celtics. If Miami wants to retain Butler and compete in a winnable East next season, the team probably needs to make a trade for an impact player, and Young may be the best option. Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo jokes of tampering after news of Mikal Bridges' trade. The Miami Heat's silence in the trade market this offseason is frustrating fans, but star Bam Adebayo is simply having fun with all of the breaking news. News broke from ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski on Tuesday that the Brooklyn Nets are trading star Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks in exchange for a package highlighted by Bojan Bogdanovic and 4 unprotected first-round picks. Adebayo jokingly called out Bridges' former Villanova Wildcat and now New York Knicks teammates Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. He posted to X, formerly Twitter, stating, "At Jalen Brunson 1 at Josh Hart y'all was tampering." Fans' frustration was heard loud and clear in the responses, urging Adebayo to recruit Cleveland Cavaliers guard Donovan Mitchell to the Heat. While recent reports likely place Mitchell out of potential acquisitions, an abundance of stars remain on the market for Miami's front office to target. Paul George, Los Angeles Clippers, and Brandon Ingram, New Orleans Pelicans, highlight the bunch seemingly available. It seemed before that the Heat could run it back next season with a similar roster, but the Knicks' drastic improvements have to make team president Pat Riley think twice. The NBA draft takes place on Wednesday evening, where the Heat hold the number 15 pick in the first round, but rumblings of a move-up remain prominent. New York Knicks are interested in Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Butler is widely believed to be a Miami Heat loyalist, but his future with the franchise has fallen under doubt over the past few weeks. Now, as teams around the league consider his availability, the New York Knicks have become the latest group to take a special interest in the 6X All-Star. Butler had boasted the Heat would have sent the Knicks home had Miami faced them in the playoffs. Ironically, the Knicks reportedly have an eye on the potential Butler sweepstakes, wrote Mark Berman. Butler, 34, joined the Heat back in 2019 from the 76ers. Over 5 seasons with the team, he's averaged 21.3 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 5.7 assists per game on 49% shooting. He and his co-star Bam Adebayo have taken the Heat to 2 finals appearances since 2020. As a gritty and competitive two-way player, Butler has always been viewed as a perfect match for the franchise, and he's been the face behind their infamous Heat culture. The 13-year veteran has 2 years left on his deal, including a player option for the 2025-26 campaign worth $52 million. But in the aftermath of a disappointing season, the future of Butler and the Heat has come under doubt. During the season-ending interviews, those doubts increased after Pat Riley publicly called him out for claiming he could have led the Heat to series wins over the Celtics and Knicks in the East. While many teams will be in pursuit of Butler, including the Warriors and 76ers, the Knicks are probably the team that makes the most sense for him at this stage of his career. They finished second in the East last season with a 50-32 record and advanced to the second round before being eliminated by the Indiana Pacers. The Knicks fell apart in the East semis due to injuries and pure exhaustion, but having a reliable two-way star like Butler could give them the edge they need to finally make a run. With the Knicks, Butler would also be reunited with his former Bulls coach, Tom Thibodeau, who worked alongside him for the first 7 years of his career. From a roster standpoint, the Knicks have a lot to gain from adding a two-way star and a proven leader on the wing. With Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and OG Anunoby, the Knicks already have the backbone of a really good team, but Butler's arrival could push them to contender status. At the very least, his fearless game and relentless approach will help to maximize the roster and give the Knicks a reliable closer down the stretch of games and during the playoffs. Of course, the Knicks would have to sacrifice a lot to acquire a player like Butler, and there will be multiple teams in pursuit of his services this offseason. But as a team that is just 1 or 2 pieces away, the Knicks can change everything if they add another star to their roster, and the East will be in trouble if they can add someone of Butler's stature to play with Jalen Brunson. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.